Hello everybody, I'm Happy Caldwell, and I want to thank you for joining me for today's edition of Arkansas Alive. Arkansas Right for Life, Rose Mimms, is my guest today, and I don't want you to miss this. She's got some great things going on, and we need to support these things in Arkansas. She's done a life's work saving the unborn, and we need to hear what's happening right now. So stay tuned. Arkansas Alive starts right now. Thank you for joining us for this, I call it a special edition. Thank you, Rose, for coming on. You're always such a blessing to be on here, to let me know what's going on and your life's work of for the unborn. Hallelujah. And it's still going on.
It is. Yes, it is.
You want to start with this Arkansas Abortion Amendment? Because I don't think people in Arkansas are even aware of this.
I agree. And what this is about is that a group here in Arkansas, it's a local group, have formed to put on our ballot in 2024 abortion. And, you know, as you know, we've worked many years, and when we got in 2022, the Dobbs decision that brought it back to the states, Arkansas was ready.
Right.
You know, we had a trigger law that was passed, and when we said when Roe versus Wade is overturned, Arkansas will go back to our original law, which was protecting unborn babies in our state. And so that's what happened on June 24th, 2022. That afternoon, abortion ceased in Arkansas, and since then we have not had any abortions in Arkansas. It's been illegal to have an abortion in Arkansas. And now this group is coming forward wanting to put it on our ballot and let the people of Arkansas say, yeah, we can kill unborn babies, and we're not talking about just, you know, a very early pregnancy. No, we're talking about babies that, you know, are close to this size. This is a 20-week fetal model, and they're wanting to, for abortion to be legal in Arkansas all the way up to 18 weeks for any reason, virtually. So this is not what we want in Arkansas. We don't want to kill our babies. We want to save them.
Let me ask them to come in a little bit closer on this, because when you talk, people can't imagine. They just hear fetus, baby, or whatever. Now, this is what period a week?
That's about a 20-week unborn child, which is, you know, roughly 5 months, four to 5 months pregnancy. So that's what they're talking about. 18 weeks is going into the fifth month.
And the other model that you have here?
This is a 12-week model, and this is when most abortions are done. And even at that size, you know, 8 to 12 weeks, the baby is fully formed. At 8 weeks, all of the body parts are ready to go. All the baby has to do is to grow.
Yeah.
So, you know, and we're not talking about babies that necessarily have anything wrong with them in that first 18 weeks. It's just if the mother wants an abortion, she would be able to get an abortion in Arkansas.
A form of birth control.
Many times it is used as that,
yeah.
Yes.
I was doing a teaching on the incarnation of Christ, the unity of deity and humanity in Matthew, when it talks about the birth of Christ. It says, you'll call his name Emmanuel God with us. And it really has to do with the blood, because Christ was not fathered by Joseph. The Bible says that the Holy Spirit overshadowed Mary, and that which was formed in her was to be called Emmanuel, God with us. It was God taking upon himself flesh. Okay, the big item is the blood. He wasn't fathered by Joseph, so he carried the same Adamic sin nature that came from Adam's transgression. And if you look at the blood, any man born after Adam was born spiritually dead, meaning their blood couldn't redeem anybody. You had to have someone who was a man but also God. And a lot of religions they say that Jesus was half man and half God. No, he was all God and all man. But he was sinless because he was not of the bloodline of Joseph. And so I went through and read a doctor's description of what that looked like. And he said, if you take a chicken egg and you hold it up before the light, I've seen this in scientific productions, and you see little veins in that blood, he said that is a fertilized egg. It's been fertilized by the rooster's sperm united with the hen's ovum, and that egg was fertilized. And you can tell by seeing the veins growing. And his point was that the blood comes from the father, not from the mother. He said, now, if you have an egg that's not been fertilized, there are no veins. Life begins at conception. It begins when that ovum is penetrated by the sperm, and that's where the life starts. It said, all you have to do is hold that egg up, and that egg, it begins to form a little chicken. And the blood is being formed. So, I submit that as a biblical backup, an instance where those babies, although they're not perfectly formed, born, they are alive. They have life. They feel pain. And, that baby, like you said, everything's there that it needs. It just needs to grow in the womb. And we've got to keep standing against the abortion on demand. Even though Roe versus Wade was reversed, if you remember, I called you on that day because I was in Branson at a National Association of Christian Lawmakers, and Rose, they stood and applauded and worshiped, and some of them were crying. They were praising God. These are congresswomen, congressmen, senators, and they were thrilled. And everybody thought, well, it's over, it's done with. No, there are those now that want to not reverse Roe versus Wade, but they want to stop Arkansas from.
Well, what Dobbs did, it took it away from the federal courts and sent it back to the states. So every state gets to decide, and the federal government, to some extent, can regulate abortion. But what we're seeing is that in state after state, the pro-abortion movement is taking it to the people of each individual state. And they started in the more liberal states, although states like Kansas and Kentucky, have passed these measures just because they go in with lots of money, millions of dollars, and they put out deceptive advertising, and they really appeal to the heartstrings, of babies that do have some kind of problem within the womb, some kind of anomaly, health condition, or the mother has a health condition, or the mother's a victim of rape or incest and a pregnancy occurs. But like you said, that baby is forming from the moment of conception as a human being, an innocent human being who deserves a right to life, God-given.
Right.
And so we want to protect babies in Arkansas. It's to our advantage because these are our citizens. These are our future citizens who will be, supporting our programs and government in our state and paying taxes and being worthwhile members of our society.
So what do I, as a viewer, as a citizen of Arkansas, what do I need to do besides pray?
Pray definitely, but also get involved because this is coming to each and every person. Each and every person in the state will have a part to play, especially if they're a registered voter.
Yeah.
And what this group will seek to do once the Attorney General certifies their ballot title, which could have happened, which may be, already, they may already be canvassing for signatures by the time your viewers see this program. But I would say politely decline to sign any petition that has abortion on it, because if you sign that petition, you're literally signing a death warrant for unborn babies, this size in Arkansas, or maybe this size in Arkansas, that have done nothing wrong. They deserve to live. They deserve to breathe and to love, you know.
So would I be safe in assuming that it's the pro-abortionist stand that would be for this? They would want this to pass.
Or misguided, and unfortunately, some pro-life people who don't want abortion on demand do want exceptions for rape and
Right.
incest and life of the mother, which we have life of the mother in Arkansas. That's our only exception. But when it comes to these other circumstances of conception, like rape or incest, you know, we are compassionate to the woman for undergoing this terrible crime against her. But we have to remember that the child conceived is an innocent party,
Right.
and yet would receive the death penalty for the crime of their father. You know, it doesn't seem fair or just. And there's a Proverbs, and it says that mercy triumphs over judgment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're doing. We're judging these unborn children who are innocent of anything and giving them the death penalty.
Yeah.
It's not just, it's not fair, it's really not compassionate.
I want to talk about the annual March for Life, but let me apologize to you for the noise that we're hearing in the studio. I don't know if it's going out over there. It's not the fault of your set. It's the reconstruction, the repairing of our building here that was damaged by the tornado, and they're preparing to re-brick one of the sides. So that's the noise. So just discount it. It's not your set, and there's no mechanical or electrical failure. It's just workmen outside. And we've waited so long for them to come and start repairing, we hesitate to tell them to stop because it's been 7-8 months now. Okay, this is an annual event, March for Life, the 46th annual March for Life, and it's January 21st, downtown Little Rock, 2 p.m. on a Sunday, and I think you'll probably have some of the contact information. It's taking place along Capitol Avenue to the front of the steps of the Arkansas State Capitol. It's January 21st at 2 p.m., and it's going to be a beautiful Sunday afternoon. So make plans to come. Now, you can get more information by going to the website, artl.org, and make plans to March for Life. It makes a statement. It really is standing up for life, and we want to encourage you to do that.
Yeah, so it's helped keep Arkansas abortion free, you know, so we want people to turn out. You know, we always have it in January, the March for Life, but to remember the Roe versus Wade anniversary of January 22nd, and to always never forget those unborn babies that died as a result of Roe versus Wade, some 70 million, you know, and in Arkansas, roughly 250,000 babies died under Roe v. Wade. And since then, since May June 24th, 2022,
Okay.
there have been 0 abortions in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And thousands of babies are alive in our nation today because of the Dobbs decision.
Yeah.
So come join us. We're going to start marching at State Street, down Capitol Avenue. We'll have a short program. We're going to hear from a woman who was raped, became pregnant with twins from that rape, and her and her daughter will speak at the March for Life.
Okay. All right. Then you've got a big banquet coming up. Bow ties for babies. First of all, tell me where that came from. How did you come up with it?
Well, it's just, a novel idea to celebrate life in Arkansas. And we have a lot to celebrate in Arkansas when it comes to saving unborn babies. I mean, we've been named the most pro-life state for 3 years in a row by Americans United for Life. So we do protect our babies in Arkansas. We love our babies. We love their mothers and their fathers and know that abortion is not the right decision to end any pregnancy. You know, have the baby, give it up for adoption if you can't care for it yourself. there are lots of people out there willing and wanting babies. But this event celebrates life. It's going to happen in January. We did it in 2020, 2022. Now we're back in 2024 in a big way. We're bringing Tim Tebow, but we're also going to honor our former First Lady Janet Huckabee. And she's going to get to tell her story for the first time at one of our events. You know, we've had her husband, Governor Mike Huckabee, and her daughter. You know, Sarah was a governor when she spoke in 2022 at our event, but she was later elected governor. And so now, we're going to hear from Janet herself.
That's going to be awesome. Now, how can people get a ticket or to get registered? Do we have... I think we have some contact information up on the screen for you. The event will include an opportunity to support Arkansas Right to Life. People can sponsor a whole table for $1,500 for 10 people at a table, $150 a person.
Right.
Or if they want to get a ticket just for themselves, they can go online at artl.org, bow ties. And that is at the Benton Care Center.
Benton Event Center.
Benton Event Center at 173-221, 173-22 I-30. We've attended a lot of banquets there. That's January 25th, 2024.
Yeah, and, there might still be tickets available by the time your viewers see this, so please, check and see. And we expect it to be a sold-out event with Mr. Tim Tebow there as a speaker. He's very popular and, well-known celebrity and around the country and the world, I would say. But anyway, we're very pleased to have him and also to honor Mrs. Huckabee.
And he's also very pro-life.
Oh, so, absolutely. Yeah, his mother chose life.
Yeah.
She was, advised to have an abortion when she was pregnant with him because she had been a missionary in a foreign country and had contracted some kind of, virus or disease or something, and they advised her to abort her child, and she did not, and that is Tim Tebow.
Yeah. Just a couple of more questions. My sister-in-law has worked over the years at one of the pregnancy centers and counseled a lot of young girls that come in for abortion, and she said the thing that she was most appalled at is that most of the young girls that come in see abortion as birth control. That is their concept of birth control, is just have an abortion. Have you found that to be true in most states or in Arkansas? Or?
I think it is largely true. I mean, it has been ever since the beginning of, even before Roe v. Wade, when Margaret Sanger founded Planned Parenthood, and she did so that because birth control that she had started back in, the late 20s, was failing, and birth control will fail, and so abortion's the backup for that. And so now what we've seen, over the last 50 plus years is that women sometimes don't even bother with birth control. They know they can get a legal abortion, and they use that, and even though, the consequences of multiple abortions or even one abortion can wreck the fertility future of a young woman.
Of course, at the heat of the debate, very few people are going to consider that when they get pregnant. They don't, unless it is, a hardship on the family or the marriage or whatever. I think the baby is the least of their concern because they can just get rid of the baby if it's lawful, if it's legal, and medically possible. So I would assume, even though we might have new viewers that have never heard you before, never seen, don't know what Arkansas Right to Life is all about, I would assume that most of these young ladies, or maybe not so young, are on one side of the fence or the other. They believe their body is their own, and nobody has the right to tell them what to do with their body. Well, Arkansas Right to Life is not trying to tell them what to do or not to do with their body. We're simply saying, hey, there's somebody else involved here, somebody that has no say-so in the matter, and there's a baby to be considered. It's not just a blob. It's not just a pound of flesh or whatever. And there are going to be consequences for aborting that baby, emotional, mental, maybe physical. So I'd like for you to address, because you do this all the time and have for years, how do you communicate to young girls that abortion is not the answer, that they should consider some alternative, either not getting pregnant in the first place or adoption or whatever, but that old deal is hands off my body, it's my body, I'll do with it what I want. We're not talking about your body, we're talking about the baby.
Right. And, Arkansas Right to Life is an educational organization primarily. That's our primary mission, to change hearts and minds with the truth about what abortion is. And it really is the taking of an innocent human life that is distinct, like you talked about, from the mother. It's not the mother's body that she's wanting to control. It's a separate individual who could be a different sex from the mother, will probably have a different blood type from the mother, is this distinct human being that never before has been created, will never be created again.
Right.
Unique. And it's certainly because of the way we were created by God, women, mothers, that ability to bear children. I firmly believe that most women, when they get pregnant, they want their baby. However, whatever circumstances they may find themselves in, whether it's an unmarried woman who is a young girl, has a boyfriend, maybe feels like she's in love, or whatever their circumstance, or if it's an illicit affair with, adultery or whatever. Women get themselves into terrible situations. I know because I was a crisis pregnancy counselor for 5 years before I went to work for Arkansas Right to Life. So I know all the tragic stories there are out there. But I firmly believe that what most women want is somebody to take them by the hand, put their arm around their shoulder and say, we will do this, we will get through this. It's temporary. Pregnancy is a temporary condition. Yeah. It lasts 9 months and then it's over, and for an innocent human being to lose their life because of the situation that a woman finds herself in. Now, there are tragic situations, no doubt, of crimes committed against a mother with pregnancy results, or where she's coerced or possibly threatened. I mean, we've had pregnant women murdered because of their situation where they didn't want an abortion, yet the father wanted one and wanted to force her to get an abortion, or it's a young girl whose parents are forcing her. So women want to have their children typically, but it's the circumstances they find themselves in that they need to help with. And Arkansas has done a great job helping pregnant women through the crisis pregnancy centers, that are all over our state. We have close to 50, and they help women free of charge throughout the entire pregnancy and beyond, parenting or placing for an adoption. And, we have the Safe Haven baby boxes now where a mother can have her child and surrender that child anonymously through a Safe Haven baby box, and we have almost 25 boxes now in Arkansas. It's phenomenal, and we've had 5 babies surrendered and placed with by adoption, into forever family. So, and not only the private section, the pregnancy help centers that have church support, which is vital, but also the state itself has upped their programs for pregnant women, because we are an abortion-free state now. Will we be at the end of 2024? That remains to be seen. But I would like for your viewers to please get involved with Arkansas Right to Life, your local Right to Life group, your pregnancy resource center that's in your county, your church, because it will take every person who loves life and wants to protect life to fight against this ballot initiative that we will have probably on our ballot in 2024. Don't sign the petition, number one, but vote against it for sure if it's on your ballot in 2024.
And keep in mind, it's about life. It's not about control. It's not about birth control. It's about life. It's about protecting the life of the unborn. And I always like to quote former President Reagan, and he wrote a book about this called How Do You Sear Your Conscience? He says if we keep aborting babies in our country at the rate that we're doing now, he said we will sear our conscience. And when you sear your conscience, you're no better than a murderer. You're just killing babies and ruining women's lives. So consider the life. Like Rose said, your pregnancy is only 9 months. You can get help through it. There are adoptions. There's availability. And I want to add to this about this Arkansas Abortion Amendment that's coming up next year. They're going to need a lot of money. You don't realize that there's a lot of money that comes in from out of state, maybe even some out of country, but they're coming in to pass these laws. This is all part of the woke culture. This is part of the one world government that the World Economic Forum. They're creating chaos. They're creating problems in different states, and they've got millions of dollars. So go for the march. This is the 46th Annual March for Life, January 21st, downtown Little Rock. And support Arkansas Right to Life. And one way that you can support is by signing up and go to the Bow Ties for Babies. And I'm sure you'll be challenged and enjoy Jim Tebow. I've heard him just brief snippets of his testimony, and honoring Janet Huckabee. So this is a fun time, and you can go to the Benton Event Center in Benton, January 25th. Make it a date night if you would like, or family event. You can sponsor a whole table for $1,500, or you can go at $100, $150 per person. I think we're out of time. We could just go on and on and on. But thank you, Rose. We appreciate you, appreciate your work. And thank you. Remember, Jesus is Lord of Arkansas, and where you're watching too.
Send your questions, comments, and testimonies to Happy Caldwell at Post Office Box 26207, Little Rock, Arkansas 72221, or email happycaldwell@vtntv.com. Remember to follow VTN on Facebook at VTN Your Arkansas Christian Connection, and follow Happy Caldwell on Twitter at Happy_Caldwell. VTN is on Roku. Search VTN in the channel store and add us to your lineup. Today's episode is available to watch on demand at VTNTV.com and click Watch. You can also watch VTN via live stream at VTNTV.com.